The Unstoppable Rise. Black Women, Entrepreneurs Rewriting the Rules of Business. Welcome to the BlackCEO Podcast, where we dive deep into the stories that are reshaping the landscape of entrepreneurship. I'm your host, and today we're in for a treat that's going to challenge everything you thought you knew about business success and the power of determination. Before we dive in, I want to take a moment to acknowledge the incredible individual who made this episode possible. Quiana Davis, a visionary leader and tireless advocate for Black women entrepreneurs, has graciously shared her insights with us. Quiana's work isn't just changing lives, it's transforming entire communities and reshaping the very fabric of our economy. Her dedication to empowering others and her innovative approaches to addressing systemic challenges have earned her a well-deserved reputation as a game changer in the world of business and social impact. Now, buckle up, folks, because we're about to embark on a journey that will challenge your perceptions, ignite your passion, and maybe, just maybe, inspire you to be part of a revolution that's happening right under our noses. Imagine, if you will, a group of modern-day Davids. They're armed not with slings and stones, but with laptops, smartphones, and an unshakable belief in their own potential. These Davids are facing off against a Goliath that's been centuries in the making. A system of entrenched biases, limited access to capital, and societal expectations that seem designed to hold them back. Who are these intrepid warriors? They're Black women entrepreneurs, and they're not just fighting the good fight, they're winning it, reshaping the business landscape in ways that would have seemed impossible just a few short years ago. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking. Here we go again, another feel-good story about overcoming adversity, but let me stop you right there. This isn't just a feel-good story. This is an economic revolution in the making. And the numbers, they'll knock your socks off. Let's start with a little perspective. 2 million businesses. That's not a typo, folks. 2 million businesses owned and operated by Black women. Now, take a deep breath, because here comes the kicker. These businesses employ over 647,000 people and generate a mind-boggling $118.7 billion in revenue. I'll give you a moment to pick your jaw up off the floor. Ready for more? Between 2019 and 2024, these businesses saw an 80.8% increase in revenue and a 44.4% increase in employment. In the business world, we call that explosive growth. In the real world, we call that a miracle. But here's where it gets really interesting. This growth isn't happening because these entrepreneurs have it easy. Far from it. They're achieving these incredible results in spite of a system that seems designed to hold them back. Let's talk about funding for a moment. Imagine you're an entrepreneur with a brilliant idea. You've done your research, crafted a bulletproof business plan, and you're ready to take the leap. You walk into a bank, confidence high, only to be met with skepticism, unreasonable terms, or outright rejection. This isn't a hypothetical scenario. It's the reality faced by many Black women entrepreneurs every single day. The numbers tell a stark story. Black women-owned businesses are less likely to receive loan approvals, and when they do, it's often for smaller amounts and with higher interest rates. It's like trying to win a race while carrying a backpack full of rocks. Not just unfair, it's downright demoralizing. But here's where the story takes a turn that'll give you goosebumps. These women, faced with a system that seems designed to say no, have decided to write their own yes. They're finding innovative ways to fund their dreams. From crowdfunding to community-based lending circles, they're turning to each other for support, mentorship, and inspiration. Let me tell you about Sarah. Sarah had a thriving event planning business before the pandemic hit. When lockdowns turned the event industry upside down, Sarah didn't throw in the towel. No, sir. She took a step back, assessed the landscape, and made a pivot that would make a ballerina jealous. Recognizing that people still crave connection, even in a world of social distancing, Sarah transformed her business into a virtual event planning powerhouse. She didn't just survive the pandemic, she thrived, creating meaningful online experiences that brought people together when they needed it most. Sarah's story is remarkable, but here's the kicker. It's not unique. All across America, Black women entrepreneurs are demonstrating this kind of resilience, innovation, and sheer determination. They're not just adapting to change it, they're driving it. Now, let's talk about impact for a moment. We've thrown around some big numbers, but what do they really mean? Well, hold on to your hats, because this is where it gets really exciting. If black women-owned businesses could achieve revenue parity with the average men-owned business, we'd be looking at an additional $1.7 trillion injected into the U.S. economy. That's trillion with a T, folks. To put that in perspective, that's more than the GDP of all but a handful of countries in the world. This isn't just about fairness or equality, although those are certainly important. This is about unlocking the full potential of our economy. It's about tapping into a wellspring of innovation, creativity, and determination that has been overlooked and undervalued for far too long. But here's the rub. Now, at the current rate of progress, it could take 4 decades to reach parity. 4 decades. That's not just a long time. It's an entire generation. We can't afford to wait that long. The cost of inaction isn't just measured in dollars and cents. It's measured in dreams deferred, innovations unrealized, and potential squandered. So what can we do about it? Well, I'm glad you asked, because this is where you come in. Yes, you, whether you're an entrepreneur, an investor, a policymaker, or just someone who cares about building a more equitable and prosperous society, you have a role to play in this story. First and foremost, we need to recognize and celebrate the achievements of black women entrepreneurs. Their success isn't just their own. It's a blueprint for resilience and innovation that we can all learn from. When we elevate their stories, we're not just acknowledging their hard work, we're inspiring the next generation of entrepreneurs. Secondly, we need to advocate for policies that address the gender and racial wage gap. This isn't just about fairness. It's about unlocking the full potential of our economy. Remember that $1.7 trillion I mentioned earlier. That's not just a number. It's untapped potential that could transform communities, create jobs, and drive innovation. Third, we need to support initiatives that provide targeted assistance to black women entrepreneurs. This could mean mentoring a young entrepreneur, investing in a black-owned business, or simply choosing to buy from diverse suppliers. Every action, no matter how small, contributes to closing the gap. But perhaps most importantly, we need to change our mindset. We need to stop seeing the success of black women entrepreneurs as an anomaly and start seeing it as a glimpse of what's possible when we level the playing field. We need to shift from asking, how can these businesses survive, to how can we help these businesses thrive? Let's talk about supplier diversity programs for a moment. Now, I know that phrase might make your eyes glaze over, but stick with me because this is important. These programs are designed to provide contract opportunities and grants specifically for minority and women-owned businesses. They're like a secret weapon in the arsenal of black women entrepreneurs, opening doors to local, state, and federal government agencies, as well as corporations with supplier diversity initiatives. Black women-owned businesses that become contractors for government agencies and corporations are more likely to grow into multi-million-dollar enterprises. We're talking about transformative opportunities that can catapult small business into the big leagues. But here's the catch. These programs are under constant scrutiny and face ongoing legal challenges. It's like trying to run a race while someone keeps moving the finish line. Yet, despite these obstacles, black women-owned businesses have seen a 51.2% increase in firm numbers and a mind-blowing 102.8% increase in revenue for employer firms between 2019 and 2024. Let that sink in for a moment. In the face of a global pandemic, economic uncertainty, and systemic challenges, these businesses didn't just survive, they thrived. They didn't just grow, they exploded onto the scene, reshaping the business landscape in their wake. Now, I can almost hear some of you thinking, that's all well and good, but what does it have to do with me? Well, let me put it this way. Imagine if we could harness this kind of innovation, determination, and growth potential across our entire economy. Imagine the problems we could solve, the innovations we could create, the prosperity we could generate. This isn't just about supporting black women entrepreneurs, although that's certainly important. This is about creating a more dynamic, innovative, and inclusive economy that benefits all of us. It's about recognizing that talent, creativity, and determination know no racial or gender boundaries, and that by limiting opportunities for any group, we're limiting our collective potential. So here's my challenge to you. As we wrap up this episode, I want you to think about one concrete action you can take to support black women entrepreneurs. Maybe it's mentoring a young entrepreneur in your community. Maybe it's reevaluating your company's supplier diversity program. Maybe it's simply making a conscious choice to support black-owned businesses in your day-to-day life. Whatever it is, commit to it. Write it down. Share it with a friend. Hold yourself accountable. Because here's the thing, change doesn't happen in grand gestures. It happens in small, consistent actions that add up over time. And to the Black women entrepreneurs listening to this, I see you. I recognize your struggles, your triumphs, your determination. You are not just building businesses, you are reshaping the very fabric of our economy. You are proving day in and day out that with grit, innovation, and an unshakable belief in your own potential, anything is possible. Your success is not just your own, it's a beacon of hope and inspiration for generations to come. So keep pushing, keep innovating, keep defying expectations. The world is watching, and more importantly, the world is changing because of you. As we close out this episode of the Black CEO Podcast, I want to leave you with this thought. The story of Black women entrepreneurs is still being written, and each of us has the power to contribute to this narrative. So let's make it a story of triumph, of barriers broken, and of a future where success knows no bounds. The next chapter starts now, and it starts with you. What role will you play in this unfolding story? The floor is yours, and the possibilities are endless. Thank you for listening. And remember, in the face of adversity, innovate. In the face of doubt, persevere. And in the face of systemic challenges, rise up and rewrite the rules. Until next time, this is the Black CEO Podcast, signing off.